So released from its imprisonment is the Acer Aspire from about 1997. A little newer than what I was really looking for, but this is going to be more than good enough for me, and it's actually, in decent shape, unlike the last one I had where this was all like broken and yeah, it wasn't good. So, Pentium 2, goodness, it's supposed to be a Pentium 2 300 in this system. The sticker is okay. Probably doesn't warrant trying to replace it. I did look at Pentium 2 stickers on eBay, and well, I couldn't actually find any. It was really weird, except the mobile ones, the black mobile ones, but for some reason these MMX ones right here, they just aren't on there for some reason. Interesting. Got a nice Windows 95 sticker here. And yeah, it's all actually mostly, I think, original. This door actually does open and close. I didn't know this is what was behind here. Some little pop outs. Probably would look really ugly with a flat drive there. We got some stickerage right here. That probably decodes into something that was important to Acer back then. Now the picture showed this drive was not screwed in, at least on this side, so we'll find that out. At least it seems to be there, so maybe it is just this one side. Feels like there is a floppy drive in there. This might be pushed back too far. I'm not feeling much of anything there. I don't normally consider myself to be a nostalgic kind of a person, because to me nostalgic is like, well, if you stopped using it as a kid and now as an adult you want to go back to that and relive those happy, warm feelings, I guess. But if you don't actually ever stop, using the stuff, is it still really nostalgia? That is definitely nostalgia for me. But this is probably a little bit of nostalgia, guilty pleasure, I guess. So this is like the system that I first ever played Descent on and discovered 3D games in the 90s. At Best Buy, they had these on demo, and Descent was one of the demo games that was loaded on these systems. So I always liked this. And, just from a vintage computer standpoint, this thing looks very, very different from, like that and that, and, especially that right there. It looks a lot more, well, maybe not modern by modern standards, but, 2000s modernish, kind of Alienware kind of a thing here, So I thought it was always cool. And these are really hard to find in good shape. They're hard to find, period, let alone in good shape. This one was in good shape, and it was for a good price. So on the back here, we have a very interesting thing that Acer did on these systems. It's like it's a motherboard here. You got a riser card that comes out, and then you got your expansion slots. This does not have, you can zoom in on the sticker there so you can get a look at the model there. This does not have an AGP slot. From the pictures I saw, it was only PCI. So I don't know what they have for onboard AGP. It could be an ATI chip. I'm pretty sure Intel didn't have integrated graphics in this time, so I'm guessing if this is an Intel chipset, it's the 430LX. Could be Acer's own chipset, we'll find out. So, onboard video back then, it was very common to see ATI, Rage, XL or Rage 128. So, if it has at least a Rage 128, that's probably going to be good enough, but I plan on having a Matrox card in here. We'll see how that works. There's also, I have a TNT. I have some other PCI cards I could try just to see how all it'll work, but obviously there's two cards in there at one point. I'm guessing video card and modem. I don't know. Maybe it was a Voodoo 2 and a modem, or maybe video card. I don't know. There's 2 slots open. Clearly there was a couple cards that was worth pulling out of the system before sale. So, yeah, who knows. We have a couple USB ports when USB was still a new thing that nobody used. Printer. We got a Vuga. A Putsta, couple Putstas. Indicom. So, all right, let's get this thing opened up and see what's inside. Okay, so first up here, it does look like it did in the eBay photos. I have a little bit of dust raining down here. I got our Pentium 2 chip. Does look to me like an Intel LX, so that's good. As you can see here, no AGP slot. And we have, it supposedly comes with 192 meg of RAM. So we've got, I'm guessing these are sure these are 64. These two look like they're the same. This one's obviously different. That's hard to say. I don't know what the system came with. You can't really, fortunately Acer doesn't exactly tell you. Interesting though, Pentium 2 is still using the standard AT. Usually, I remember Pentium 2 is the one where that ATX standard became the new thing. So it's interesting that they're still using AT on this. There's another. That must be the Southbridge chip up there. And we have a manufacturer's date down here, 97. I'm not sure if that's 1-2 or if that's 12. I'm going to say it's probably 12. So this was right at the end, right before Christmas, or maybe right after Christmas. I don't know. And I'm sure that's the hard drive bay up there. They look wide enough to have like a quantum Bigfoot in there. And those are 5 1/4 inch bays right there. They're not 3 1/2. In fact, I don't see any. Well, you know what? I bet you there was one right here. I bet you the 3 1/2 was right here, because you can see that would have been where it was screwed into. This would have held it along with something else in here, maybe. I bet you it was right here, and they removed the whole cage. Yeah, there's a locking tab right up there, so you unscrew that and this whole thing would pop out, and then, you know, I hate people do that, you know. Not like I can't get around it, obviously, but it still sucks that that's missing. You know, take the hard drive out, put the cage back in. I mean, how hard is that to do, guys? So I'm going to pull this riser card out. Looks like it's just some Phillips screws. I'm going to pull out the sound card too. I don't know if this is an Acer sound card or if this is something it's been in there for a while, but I have an Acer S20. I might put an S30 in here, I don't know, but we'll see how cheap and nasty this is before we go changing it out. So I'm going to get the riser card out, and we're going to see what the onboard graphics are. I see some dip switches back here, so it's probably some multipliers or bus speed, something or another there. So that's been in there for a while. So yeah, that's what they're using as a go-between these two. And we have ATI. So we got Rage Pro. So not absolutely the greatest, definitely not a 128, but it'll suffice at least for the time being. Anyway, what I was going to say was that this case, you can tell, I think, maybe, it's kind of bowed right here. This looks straight here, but this bottom looks like it's bowed in. So I don't know if it got dropped here I don't know. I'll have to look at the photos to see if I can tell if this was like this or not before shipping. I mean, as well packaged as it was, I kind of think this was here already, but I'd get the Tanya Harding out on this and do a little body work on the case. Not a big deal. Okay, so I was a little wrong about the memory sizes here. These are actually 32s. And this is a 128. It's PC 100, so I think this is the one that's not original to the system. 32s seem a little bit more like something that it would originally had. But I think this means DIM 100, PC 100. I guess I could have been using PC 100 at this time. I'm not sure. Still can't see that chipset. But I'm going to try to find some matched RAM. I like to run some CL2 in this just because. So I gave it a wipe down. I'm not going to go through the whole process. Tearing it apart, washing it, waiting for it to dry, putting it back together, all that stuff. It's not really that bad. Just get it wiped down with a microfiber cloth there. Kind of get the gist of the grodies out of there. And that sounds good. So yeah, this is one of those ATX power supplies where it's not ATX, it's like AT, but it's got a soft power on thing right here. So it's kind of one of those weird quasi things that they did back in the day before they went to actually full ATX. I don't know why they did it like that, but you know, it's a thing. So I got that cleaned up too. So all right, just wanted to throw this in while I'm still doing all this. I did burn myself a recovery disk off of archive.org, so we'll see if that works on the system, and we'll go from there. Yeah, so you know, it actually looks like there might have been some drives in here, looking at the way that's bent now. Yeah, I wonder if this did have a Bigfoot. I guess that's where I'll put it. Anyway, shiny object. I put the two sticks I believe are original back in the system. I don't know what the BIOS settings are on this thing for tweakability, so it's probably not going to let me adjust that anyway. So I'll just leave out the really high fluting 222 133 stick till I know one way or the other. So I'll put those two back in, or I did put them back in. Those 64 meg of RAM, that sounds right for the system, for the era. Some DOS games like Descent have a real hard time with 128 meg of RAM. I don't remember if they have problems, if it has problems with 65 or 64 meg technically, but I'm going to leave it at this right now. This should be more than enough for a Windows 95 system anyway. I don't have 3 matching sticks right now that I can find anyway, so this is what I'm just going to do for now. I got to get the hard drive in. This is what I'm going to go with. I dug out of my pile. Fujitsu, if it still works and doesn't sound noisy. It's a 3 gig. The manufacturing date on this is 10 of 97, so it's within when this was built. And that's typically what you're going to find on a system. The hard drive is going to be within a few months of prior to the construction of the system. Sometimes you'll see the hard drive date match that of the computer, the month or whatever. And that means they are cooking these things out. They're throwing them out as fast as they get them in. But this is what I'm going to go with first, and then we'll see what happens. Like I said, I've got my Acer disc all ready to go. Got the keyboard ready to go. All I got to do is put this in, put that in, turn it on, and some kind of order of that. I need to see about this CD-ROM. And then hopefully we'll get the installation going on this beast. I forgot to mention I gave that a few ugga-duggas with the back end of that drill. You know, sometimes your drill can double as a hammer. A mini Tanya Harding there, a baby Tanya Harding. And I was able to get it fairly good. So I'm, you know, happy with that. I don't think anybody would know any better. I did knock out the rivet back here doing it, so I had to put a screw in there and finish the beating process. There's still a little bit of a thing right here, but I might go ahead and focus on that with a screwdriver or something like that. But for now, it's sitting straight, so I think I'm just not going to probably complain too much about that. So, you know, don't look a gift horse in the mouth is what I'm saying. So that's all I had to interrupt your regularly scheduled program with. Now back to the other stuff. I decided to try to figure out if I could get that eject button working better. And this is the result of that. Thankfully I didn't break this. But, ew. So, yeah, I'm going to take care of that. And I noticed there were some goobers in the fan back here too. I don't know if it'll pick it up, but you can see some goobers there on the edges. So we'll take care of that with the old vacuum here. Yeah, you know, it's just the way things are after 25 years. Get a little grody. So I got the hard drive cage pulled out here. And I was looking at this, and you can screw the drives right here. And I was looking at it, you can see there's a witness mark right there of the screw. So that's where the drive was at originally, was right here. So that's, I'm going to only just put 2 screws in on this side. That's the side I can get to easiest when I want to swap this out. It's not like I'm shipping this anywhere, so I mean, even 1 screw would be enough. Zip ties would be enough. But that's going to put it in the original location. It's kind of, it looks like this is intended to be like a removable bay, but there's no cutout back here for it. So I don't know. Anyway, maybe they just reused this from some other model of computer, but thought I'd show you that in case you ever end up having to do one of these and your hard drive is missing. That's where it goes. Well, we're getting ready to go here. I got the keyboard out. All this is basically ready to go. The CD-ROM has these little pull tab things. There's an adjustment right here in this screw, so I pulled this back as far as it would go, and the drive as far forward as it would go, because I think the problem is this drive is just sitting a little bit too far back for the little button thing on the, and this little thing here, that little doohickey to actually touch the button on the CD-ROM. So hopefully that fixes that. So I'm going to do a little Gooby Gone here with some contact cleaner. Best thing I've ever found to remove glue and tape residue. The rag soaked here. Spray that again. Hopefully don't take the lettering off. And there we go. Mostly better. I don't know if that's a, yeah, that's a sticker right there still. Let's give that another shot. This stuff dries quickly. Do not have this anywhere near an open flame. If it doesn't come off, then it's probably something that's not, maybe more like water-based per se than oil-based, I guess you could say. There we go. Guy said this had been sitting for a while, so I imagine any tape residue on it's been on there for 30 years. All right, let's fire this thing up. Fire it up! Fire it up! That hard drive sounds normal. Ooh, that fan is not good. I put a new CMOS battery in here as well. Oh, those old capacitors, you gotta love them. This is what this monitor does when it warms up. Those capacitors charge. Oh, we got a nice effect there. Can't really see it because of the roll, but Control Alt Escape. So let's see if we can do it. This is like a Mac. Pentium 2 recognizes, oh, that's a 5 gig hard drive. I thought it was a 3. Okay, well, that's even better. 64 meg. Okay, so the first bank was at the end. Well, I'm gonna have to move those around, and we just can't have that. I wonder if this has one of those super secret key combinations in order to bring you into an advanced menu or a jumper switch something or another. Yeah, keyboard seems to work though so far. Yeah, there's nothing in here to tweak, so typical OEM BIOS. But I'll have to look and see if there is some Acers do have that. So I'll have to see if there is an advanced BIOS I can get into and actually do some tweaking. But so far it's screen rolling really well here. 60 frames per second, boy, I tell you, it gets that CRT retracing thing. It catches that pretty good there. So, well, let's see. Does this eject? Where's the little button at here? Oh, no. Okay, let's see if I can assist it here. Well, that means the belt in it is gone, so I'm going to have to rig up a CD-ROM temporarily to get this thing installed, I guess. And I'm going to have to take care of that fan. It sounds like a CPU fan. That belt just doesn't have enough strength to get the job done there. Huh. Oh well. This is what you find. Usually these things hold up better than that, but that's no surprise to me. So, rip rolling, going down the road here. So here's the CD-ROM pulled out. I have no doubt this is the original one, but this is manufactured January 1998. And this says 97 to 12, so I mean, I don't know. That's weird. I wonder, because this should be when the computer was manufactured, not the case. But I guess I don't know that for sure. So I guess either this has been replaced at some point. Hard to know, but I think it's original. Or I don't know. I guess this must be when the case was built. I don't know. Unless these things sat partially built and then they added the drives later on. I don't know. I don't know. That's interesting. Thought I'd point that out. I think I'm going to take the bottom cover off and see if I can get to that belt. It's going to be, you can kind of see the motor up in there. So it's going to be somewhere up in there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it without just completely disassembling this thing. Some of these you do. I can't tell by that part number what speed this is. Usually the part number has some kind of indication as to what speed it is, but not this one. I don't think it's a 19-speed CD-ROM. I've never heard of such a thing. Huh. Well, made in Japan, though. So it's too bad the belt went bad. So, yeah, I got to clean some more dust up, apparently, too. But, you know, I left the drive. I put it in there dusty, so it has a nice amount of, an equal amount of dust to it as the rest of the components. So we'll call that restored. I might shove a DVD or something in there just to get me down the road here. But I'll look at this real quick and see if I can change it out. If not, we'll do a swappy swap. And I might see if that faceplate fits another drive I have laying around here. If not, there's always tape if you really wanted to. So Many ways to skin the cat. All right, let's see here. Oh. Huh. Mechanism moves freely to me. I wonder if the motor's just worn out. So I was getting ready to replace this fan, and of course it's some kind of special thing here they've got. This thing is on fire. I mean, it's like cooking egg on it. So I'm guessing that cooler's plugged. And I don't know what that is. Looks to me like there's some kind of dip switches on it there. So, I don't know, multiplier, voltage? I don't know what that could be. Strange. So this should be fun to replace. I guess I'll have to, I don't know if this motherboard's going to complain about not having a fan plugged up. Because I could go to another, there is another fan header right here. But I guess if nothing else, I could just screw a fan on top of this one. But yeah, this has got to be addressed. This thing is just on fire. So before I completely redo everything I just screwed up, well, didn't really screw up, I guess. It's just the disc isn't right for the system. Took a lot of screwing around. Things weren't plugged in and cleaned up. The board, I had to redo that board. I had to clean the pins with a contact cleaner, shove it back in to get those cards so I recognize, and all this stuff. So it came with Windows 95B on that disk, upgraded it to C. This is what I've got in return. So I got to redo it. So it goes to sleep even when you don't have a operating system loaded. So I'm going to show you what the Acer stuff is that's on here before I blow it away. It's not really anything crazy special. I was hoping there'd be some demo games, but there isn't. It's a nice background. I mean, you know, some might not think so, but I think it's, you know, it's nice. I like it. When it's in all full color. I don't know why that's yellow or orange or whatever, but I get errors about kernel 32 errors, and I don't know why this is giving that error. I thought this worked with 95, but apparently not. So I'll just show you. It's got this Ace desktop thing, which default loads, starts up every time. And, you know, it's just kind of a real, like, I don't know how to use my computer kind of a thing, so we're going to, like, have things here. So we got games. You know, we got McAfee, Mixer, registration. Always got to register it. Acer Center Source. We'll take a look at that. Screensaver. We'll take a look at that. I like the screensaver. Internet. We got all the stuff about it. Install this and shop here. Go there. Do that. Sign up for this. Productivity does come with Quicken SE. I haven't tried any of the rest of the stuff yet, but you know, it's stuff that I couldn't do down the road. Probably would never use anyway. Games, this is it. Don't even get ski free with a dang thing. So, not really losing anything here with that. And other than that, it's basically this regular standard stuff that comes with Windows 95. I don't know why that was doing that. Let's take a look at the Service Center thing here. And, oh, okay. Diagnostic tools, CD checker. We could do that, I guess. Hardware diag. CD-ROM was not found. Well, I don't understand that because, well, I don't have it plugged in. That's why. Oh, okay. Let's go back here. Let's maintenance tools. Install, uninstall, virus scan. What does virus scan do? McAfee, 1997. Oh, look at back then when it was just very simple. Let's just go ahead and do a scan. Let's see if there's any viruses on this freshly installed Windows 95. Been upgraded to 95C. Well, I went through the bench folder and it didn't find anything there. Yeah, we're clean. Look at that. A lot faster than modern ones. prompt for action. So anyway, I thought I'd show you that before I go ahead and completely redo this thing. If I could just get those 3 things, I think it'll be good enough for me to be like the Acer load. I was really hoping that there'd be some demo games on this load. I'll have to try the 95. I'm talking with the CD folks because that's the way you do it. I'll have to download the 95 recovery disc and just see what's on there. I'm just curious if it has any game demos, because I know that one at Best Buy all those years ago, I think it was 1995, had Descent demo version, which I have, but I'm just curious if it actually came preloaded with the Acer at that point, or if it was something that the store had put on. I don't know, but that's kind of what I was hoping to see on this, and there's no demo games on there. You'd think they would have put something on there. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. I still haven't resolved the DVD, CD-ROM, whatever you want to call it, issue, depending on which way I go. I have some ideas. Basically, this drive was also used in Dell at the time, and there's also a SCSI version of this drive. People want about $40 for this drive on eBay. Some work, some don't. And the ones that say they don't work, if they actually tell you what's wrong with it, it'll say the tray doesn't open, which is what's wrong with this one, or whichever where it's at down there. So I'll have to come up with another solution for this. I don't know if I just want to tape this, get some double-sided tape like everything is done nowadays, and just onto the modern drive, tray, whichever way it goes there. That's going to be the easiest way to solve this problem. The other way is going to be to take a Dremel to, not this, but see that tray right there? See how it's kind of got that little notches there? Take a Dremel to another CD-ROM tray and kind of mimic that like you would a key, like you're cutting a key with a Dremel, and kind of it's got those little notches on the corners right there. So this won't fit on a normal width tray because of those notches right there. It's actually got this little cutout in it. It's stupid. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I really don't want to spend $40 on a questionable drive. I'd like the SCSI version, but it also seems to have the same problem with the tray not opening. So go NEC. Quality at its finest, obviously. Really sad. They must have got screwed on motors for those trays, because that's the only thing I can figure is wrong with that. I could probably replace the motor, but I'll probably run into the issue, I'm just from past experience, is the motor's going to be wrong size, the shaft's going to be the wrong size, the wiring's going to be wrong, it's going to be too thick, the screws aren't going to line up to where, well, they're not going to line up, period, or they don't line up into the location where the electrical connector needs to be, or there's going to be all kinds of variables that's probably going to keep that from being repairable. So with, just gutting a CD-ROM that works and swapping motors kind of thing. So that's where I'm at with this. I don't know if this is going to end up being included in this video or not, but right now we're getting really, really crazy long in this video. This is way longer than I was hoping to be. And this is my rant for this video. This is the problem with restoring old machines like this, is that you run into a lot of ancient problems. And I'm sure that CD-ROM drive was probably bad for a long time. But, some of these vintage drives, these old drives, they just keep on working. I've got 4Xs and 2Xs that work just as good now as the day they came off the assembly line, I guess. But, and then you get these other brands that just kind of like, that one works, and that's a belt drive. But a lot of belt drives over the years that belt's just garbage and it just slips and it won't eject the tray. That's what I thought was wrong with this, but it's not. Just a bad motor. So that's where we're at, guys. So I'm not going to bore you anymore. I'm going to just wipe this out, redo it, and see what we go from there. I still got to figure out the fan situation. This is what I've got going on right now. It's obviously way too big. I cut the other fan off just to see what the effect's going to be. I don't know what that board is. If it's a temperature board, I don't know. Unfortunately, there isn't like just available service manuals for these things. It's like Acer just kept that to themselves and then they never shared it. So I did figure out what the switches are back there. One of the switches is for the logo on the BIOS logo, the Acer logo on the screen. One switch is a bus switch, bus speed switch. I don't know what speed it was because when I switched it, it went from 300 to 166. I don't know. And then the other switch, well, I don't remember what it did now. But at least it works. So, oh, and the benchmarks were appalling so far. Just FYI. So I've been doing some gaming on this thing, and I've got the Millennium 2 in it right now, still testing it. It does not support OpenGL, so that may or may not be a problem. I don't know. Depends on what I want to play on the system. Runs Command & Conquer Tiberian Sun better than the onboard, I will say that. The onboard also apparently lacks a hell of a lot of RAM. I can't even do... Let's see, it only maxes out to about 1024, 768 and still maintains 16-bit color. It starts dropping resolution when I try to go to 32-bit. So I'm guessing that probably doesn't even have 2 meg allocated to it, the onboard chip, because, you know, they usually share, you know, RAM, I think. Ultimately, the plan is probably going to put that right, this here, not that, well, maybe that, but not that, because that's the old RAM, but this right here, 64 meg of RAM. This system is kind of running out of RAM at that point when I play CCTS, so it's right at the edge there, so I think acts like it anyway. Since I got to replace the CD-ROM, I love this TAC drive, not TAC, TDK. It's really cool. I just kind of wanted to put LEDs in there to make that glow. That'd be kind of cool since it is clear. You know, why not? But the other thing you run into in these older games is that if the CD-ROM is too fast and it's pulling, you know, things from the CD-ROM, let's say, you know, there's a little bit of blah, 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 tell you what's going on the map kind of a thing. It pulls that from the CD. Well, the CD likes to shut down. So you get this delay of waiting for it to, you know, kick back up to full speed. That's the bad thing about these high-speed drives. There's a lot of wait time to get it to catch up to that full speed. So I think I'm going to put an 8X in here for now. That's the plan. I don't think I have a 12. That's not in use. I may have a 12. I'll have to look at my Mitsuimi drives up there. But I got an 8 hanging out down here. Other than that, that's my only quirk about, you know, high-speed drives is that initial, you know, kind of a, okay, let's get going here. Da, 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 da. Oh, now we're finally reading the disk. So I got the 133, PC 133, 128 meg cache latency 2 stick in there. We'll see if it works. According to the BIOS, that is number 1. Usually number 1 is the closest to the processor, but not according to the BIOS unless the BIOS is wrong. I don't know. We'll leave it there. I kind of like the idea of it being closer to the chipset. Anyway, the point of this clip is actually this. Yeah, that actually fits. Did you believe it that the Pentium 2 processor cartridge is the same width or length, I guess, as a stick of RAM? Who would have thought that? So I'm going to put this on there because that's nice and easy to just kind of clip on there. It's just kind of little pressure things, kind of hold it there, you know. These will obviously, you know, go around these little things here, but yeah, that actually fits, and that actually would maybe work and maybe be quiet and really kind of cool do some super kick-ass cooling there, you know. And, I mean, that's pretty cool. So I think I'm gonna do this over that. And that is kind of broken there, as you can see. So, I don't know how that happened. But that's what I guess being in a box does with all this. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. So, I'm going to try a TNT. I have a GeForce 4 MX400 or 4000. I think it's a 400 PCI. Try that. I also got a Matrox G450. I might try that PCI. Try that in here. And we'll also try this. Now, I think I'm going to try this next with this. Trouble is I'm getting to the point where I'm now out of PCI slots. And this kind of interferes with this. It kind of overhangs that. So, this is going to have to go down here, and I'm going to have to do this kind of thing. Computer things, OEM computer things. But it's funny, this motherboard's kind of like an ATX on its side, and then they put the IOs on the bottom side. But it's still, if you look at it, if you just imagine, just use your imagination. You had your USB and PIS2 slots and all that right there. You know, if you just kind of do that, it would be a... It's kind of funny how these manufacturers do weird shit like this. But so let's see if this works. I hope this isn't one that buzzes. So I had some of these. I always have to lube these fans up. I guess that's why they don't make these anymore. I love these RAM coolers, but they don't make them anymore. It's a good thing I've got 3 or 4 of these things kicking around. They come in handy for interesting situations like this. So let's see how this works. Yeah, that's going the wrong way. It's supposed to not be that loud. That one now is making a noise. I also had to do a lot of this to make that fit. Clearly it wasn't worth it. Yeah, that's why they don't make those anymore, because they're pieces of... So before I go and slide this baby home here, this is a Samsung drive out of a Dell. And so far, this is the only one I've come across. Not that I've looked at every one of my own. Own, have, possess, within sights, you know. But this one it does work. Number one, that's important. Number two, I whittled down the tray. Here, you can see I basically broke the little bits that went across the top here, so it's all flat up here now, more or less. I kind of nibbled on the ends here and kind of, did this, and, it doesn't look good, but that's so the cover will go over that flush. So the cover sits evenly on here now. I just have to figure out a way to attach the cover. That's going to be either with a couple dabs of super glue, which will pop off down the road, and it'll come off, or some double-sided tape. So either way, this is going to be the solution to my problem, at least for the time being, to just go ahead and replace the drive. That one is going to need work, and I don't know where I'm going to find the motor, and I'm not even sure if the motor is the problem or if maybe the driver to the motor is weak and not providing enough power. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is that tray just doesn't want to work. It was working, but once I got the whole mechanism back together, it just said, no, have a nice day. It just doesn't want to identify as a CD-ROM anymore. So, and they're way too expensive, and it seems like this is just a common problem with that model. I see a lot of them that are the parts not working. The ones that are tested, who knows how long they're going to work. So probably long term, it's probably better to just figure out a way to transfer the faceplate to another drive. Unfortunately, this is a case of you're never going to know which faceplate you're going to be able to fit it to until you try. So, but the Samsung 48E out of a Dell, early 2000s Dell, can be made to work. So, and the button does line up here, so that's also important too. So, okay, so this is with some 3M silly sided tape here, and you know, it's not really exactly you know, the most secure thing in the world, but I guess it does work. You know, I mean, you push the button, it does kind of retract and it does kind of go in there. So I need to pull that back a little bit in the adjustment here, but I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, right? Come on. Yeah, I'll just use glue. Oh, that's silly. So, we've had this going for about, I don't know, a couple weeks now. I've been playing Tiberian Sun on this thing. God, this is a hard game. Lots of time consuming, lots of save points having to be restored. Yeah. So, this is a level here. This is kind of getting up there. I don't remember which level this is called now. Something Revenge, or I don't know. What are we on here? No. Disruptor crystals. Okay, well, this level here, this thing is just really choking this little Acer down. The Pentium 2300 is really fighting this level. It's very slow. There must be a whole hell of a lot of activity going on down here or something that this thing's having to calculate, even though it's in the dark. I've had other levels that kind of slow down a little bit, but this one is pretty extreme so far. So, got the Rage XL PCI card in here right now. So far, it makes no difference really what card I use. Matrox card is still like the best so far. No matter what PCI slot I use, this thing just absolutely has to have IRQ conflicts at random, memory resource conflicts with the motherboard at random, even conflicts with the daggum keyboard. I don't know why. It's a buggy BIOS, I'm guessing, with the PCI the plug and play implementation. When it's set to auto, it just randomly puts whatever it wants. So it keeps wanting to put the video card IRQ3, which conflicts the COM1. I have to go in and set it manually. And so far, it doesn't matter what PCI slot I use. I'm using the top one now. I've done the middle one and then the last one. It does the same problem no matter what slot. So, unfortunately, I can't seem to find any way to get into an advanced BIOS on this thing. I've got some suspicions just from something I saw on some random post somewhere on the internet that there might have been a BIOS utility that Acer had at one time that maybe get in there and do that stuff. But so far, I'm not at any kind of way to change anything on the BIOS. So, if anybody knows of how that could be done, I'd like to know, because I can't find that magical keyword on Vogons to, put in. So I don't know if Acer has an FTP site. I haven't looked yet. Maybe they've got an old FTP. Maybe their old FTP has BIOSes from 1997 still on there. Very, very doubtful. But this thing is a real pill. And that's probably why these things don't really exist anymore, because people probably threw these things away because they were such a piece of crap. I don't know what Acer did. They really screwed up on this one, the BIOS. It works fine other than this weird random IRQ conflict. Sometimes it'll work fine. It'll work fine. All of a sudden you turn the computer on and it's all conflict. So, yeah, there's this thing here making the internet debut. So, I don't know. I got a pretty decent deal on a TNT PCI card. I'm going to try that in here. Can't seem to find a bunch of my video cards, and I don't really know why. Maybe I have them in various systems around here. Kind of doubt it. I don't know. I'm missing more than that one. No, I know I had a couple. I had a Creative TNT, although I don't remember if it was a PCI or AGP, but I've got an STP, which is what I got. I've got an STB. This one has the TV out stuff on it, which is pretty cool. Mine doesn't, but I don't know where mine is. So, anyway, we're going to try that and just see. Basically, we're trying to get it to where it'll run the same stuff that Callisto would run here. And just be nice to see it run Unreal Tournament. I mean, it should. This can run Unreal Tournament really nicely. But it also has a real AGP slot, so we can do a lot more things than we can with PCI. Unfortunately, PCI is limited in the fact that there's a lot of big jumps in GPUs. And then all of a sudden you get to the point to where those GPUs aren't supported in Windows 95, and they also seem to work on only certain PCI buses, and I don't understand that either. But anyway, things change and crap doesn't work is what I'm saying. So that's where we're at with this right now. I'm going to keep chugging along here, see if I can get... I want to beat the meat out of Tiberian Sun there. I'm pointing there because that's where the CD case is. Oh yeah, that kind of doesn't work, sadly. It's missing a capacitor down there, and I did replace that capacitor, and it made it worse. As in, locks up when the drivers are installed. Before, it just doesn't detect any memory buffer, video memory, something or another. That first video VRAM, whatever. I can't remember. One of the memories it doesn't detect. Anyway, I'm drawing a blank right now, guys. But that's kind of probably won't happen. I don't want to use my dual Voodoo 2s because this is not worthy of that. But one might have been kind of fun. I think that would have made a lot of sense for the system to have a Matrox card and then this. But, so, I don't know. But just keep on plugging away here. I'm going to check back with you when I have more of an update. This is kind of scary looking. This might be why I've got performance problems right here. Holy crap. I really like these movie video things they used to do back in the 90s. And having real actors in it is pretty cool. Yeah, I like this game. It has a lot of really good actors in it, and the movie sequences are really well done for being... This game was supposed to come out in 97, I read. So, I'm not sure. It eventually came out in 99. But, so I don't know when that stuff was filmed and when the compression and stuff like that was done. But it really looks good for being 90s. This is something that you just don't really have anymore. I mean, you do have actors playing parts in games, but it's all CG. Back then they had green screen. It was a whole, production, TV, movie quality production. So this is definitely high up there. James Earl Jones, aka Darth Vader, in this game was just fabulous. And then the guy you just saw there before, that was John Connor in Terminator. So yeah, it was pretty cool to see these people back then. And a lot of other games that did this stuff too. So yeah, it's an era that's unfortunately lost upon us, apparently. Well, on this level, doing a little bit of good old-fashioned screwing around here. I've got a couple little buildings left to capture. It's fun to capture them instead of destroy them. But these guys have been flying around up here the whole time like bats. I don't know why. But I've got almost 200,000, credits or whatever that is there. I've been, like I said, just messing around here. So I think it's time to go ahead and take these guys out here just for shits and giggles.
No problem. No problem.
If I can target them here.
Yes, sir. No problem. No problem. Yes, sir.
There we go. Oh, now he runs away. Look at that. Wow, he goes off the map. I can't even go off the map. Wow. That's pretty sad. Okay, well, let's go down here and try to get this one then.
No problem. Yes, sir. No problem. No problem.
Come on, come on, come on, move your asses. Wow. I guess these are kind of like a pain in the butt to try to kill, huh? I don't know what the deal is with these. Oh, now he's attacking me. Look at that.
Unit lost.
Really? Oh, well. I could make more.
Ready for action.
Well, I don't know where he went there, but he ain't got a base to go to anymore, so...
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, that was interesting.
All external systems are going, sir. The ship's status is non-operational until the ion storm
I can't wait forever, Mickey. If I must take the fight to you.
It's a fight you will lose.
I've already won the fight. As we speak, the Earth is transforming itself into a virgin paradise. Eden.
Kind of weird. It can't quite keep sync.
A race of which you will be the newest member in a matter of hours.
McNeil will come. He stopped your missiles. He'll stop you.
It's time you saw the future. While you still have human eyes. I have concentrated enough Tiberian in this single warhead to convert the entire planet.
You'll never fire it.
You should pray that I do. I doubt there'd be much of a life for a freak like you in GDI's sanitized world. Prepare the patient for her final Tiberium enhancement. And let's send a little welcoming party for her friends.
How did they capture her?
We better get hot right now! Battle stations! Protect the Kodiak at all costs!
Okay. Well, this is the final battle, and I hope I've got enough flying things here to whoop their ass. Definitely see how it slows the computer down, even though I am playing at fastest speed. Yeah, there's a lot of activity going on slowing this old Pentium 2 down, but it's doesn't really bother me. Get used to it. Can you believe it? They say that this game recommended anything above 166 megahertz MMX chip. Yeah, that would really be painful. It's painful enough on a 300 Pentium 2, but okay. Yeah, this is the final objective, I guess, apparently. So we'll see if that's the case, but I don't know how many I've got there, but I've got quite a few. Overwhelm the enemy. Oh, there's a thing right there. I don't want to destroy that. Alright. Let's just, I want to take over the base because I enjoy that better. So let's go ahead and park these guys over here. We'll get myself some engineers going here.
Training.
And I need a subterranean vehicle.
Unit ready.
Where is that at here? Because I just blew all mine up. So we'll come back when I'm actually final.
Ready.
Yeah, I figured I'd come back and just show you real quick here. The final victory over the Nod, I think. I think it's funner to capture the enemy's base than it is to just destroy it.
Building captured.
Orders received. Engineering, no problem.
Hope I got enough engineers.
Building captured.
Affirmative. Engineering. Awaiting order.
See if there's anything back up in here.
Building captured.
Maybe one more. Yeah, okay.
Building captured.
So I should be good.
Building captured.
Oh. Oh, you know what? I bet I got to
Sir.
destroy these things. Come on. You know, when I get back over to my base, it runs really fast, but up here, all this activity going on, it's a wee bit sluggish. So we're running the ATI Rage XL PCI card at the moment, and I still think the Matrox card was plenty good enough for this machine. Oh, okay. Well, what the hell else am I missing here?
Yes, sir.
Do I gotta destroy the old base? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Now let's see if this does. This is the old ruins of a base here. Oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to destroy now. Shit. Unless there's another base somewhere that I haven't found yet, but I don't think so. And I didn't think that was going to be it, but, and I was right, but... There must still be something over here somewhere. I guess. I don't know.
Orders received.
I think I found it. I forgot to blow up this little launcher right here on this base I took over like 2 hours ago. I gotta get some units built here to take care of this little prick here. There's probably another one somewhere. These things are nope, that's it. Well, let's see the final video play thing here.
Really should learn to pay attention. I have your mutant and I have your moon.
Kill him! Forget about me! Don't let him win!
Your mission's happening. It's over. No delaying the inevitable. I have the Tacitus. I am invincible. The Tacitus told me of Tiberian missiles, of invulnerable flying ships, of real-time genetic mutation. More than alien, more than human. The next step in our evolution as a species. You're not God, King. No, I'm not God. But I'm a close second.
Little pew 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 action there.
I am the future. The Tiberian sun has risen!
Eh, maybe not.
Not in my world!
This game definitely took a while to go through. But it was a good play. I enjoyed it. I don't think the cinematics quite fit the gameplay, but I don't know. I'd like to see this all as like spliced together as a movie. Maybe that's on YouTube. I'll have to look. But
right?
My goal is to play a lot more of these games like this.
Save my people.
I never really got around to it back in the day.
If this is a fight. Thanks, Mick.
I love to win.
You know how much these actors got paid to do this? These CG games back then. CG rolls for these games, I mean. James Earl Jones can't be cheap. Yeah, these latex are kind of crappy. They're okay, but... Alright, is this it? Is there anything else after I hit the enter button here? And then we got the credits. Okay, so since we're at the credits of the game, I guess this will be the credits of the video. So let me tell you what I think of this system. After 2 weeks, 3 weeks I guess almost here. It has not crashed once. Outside of the weird IRQ memory, stuff it was doing, manually setting this stuff fixes it, and I don't have a problem until I pull the card out and change it, and I have to, fight with it again. So, I'm very happy that this system is working flawlessly. Like I said, I had 0 crashes, 0 didn't. I just leave this thing sometimes just on the menu screen there while I go up and do something else for an hour or two. And it just comes back and it's working. So overall, it's a good system. Limited because of no AGP port, but I think we got enough PCI video card choices nowadays to mitigate that issue. I may overclock it. I don't know. It can go to 333. This game definitely needed more CPU power, in my opinion. Probably like a 500, 600 Athlon, Pentium 3, something like that probably would have been better. But overall, it did good. It did good. So I think I still want to have the Matrox and the Voodoo 2. I think that would be the good combination for this system, given the PCI limitation. But since that card doesn't work at the moment, I'm going to do something like with a TNT for the time being, I believe. Because this only has 8 meg of RAM on this card as well. So, anyway, thank you guys very much for watching this video. And we'll see you again right here on the Wayback Tech channel. Peace out. Deuces.
This is Base Commander Tower reporting. A number of enemy craft are hitting us all over the place. They caught us by surprise. We're severely outnumbered. All GDI forces have been destroyed. Repeat, send reinforcements right away.
God damn it. Makes no sense. Hot spots everywhere. Why Southwest Sector 9?
Someone jamming the secure channel, sir.
You'll come for the sunshine, but you'll stay for the heat.
What the hell is this? It's not possible. Punch up the main screen.
If I am cut, do I not bleed? It would be a sad error in judgment, General Solomon, to mistake me for a corpse.
My judgment is sound, Kane. And I'm not afraid of ghosts or you.
Perhaps you should be. I've seen the future. Our Tiberian future. And
As you watch this battle just beginning to unfold, I've already seen the final act. It is my destiny to lead the way for all mankind.
Mankind has forgotten you, Kane.
Signal, sir. He's in the southwest.
Get me McNeil.